Hey everybody, in today's video I'm going to show you how we can create a chart in Excel and highlight an average to make it easy to compare values against that average. In this example, I've got a list of NHL attendances by team for the past season. And I'm going to plot them on a chart and see how these attendances compare against an average. So first thing I'm going to do is create a line for the NHL average. And to do that, I'm going to use the average function and just select these attendances here. And now I've got my calculated average. Now, if I want to sort this from largest to smallest, I might be tempted to do something like this. Just sort the data. But the problem in doing so is now that value's changed because the formula is now looking at a different range. It's not including these bottom values here. So I'm going to undo this. And I'm going to show you a couple ways where we can still do this without affecting our original data set. So one is using the sort by function. So if you have the latest version of Excel, you'll have access to this. And how it works is we can select the array we want to sort and then what we want to sort it by, which in this case is going to be the average. And I'm going to specify that I want it based on descending order. So now I copy that. I've got my list of teams. And if I want the values, I can paste that here as well, except this time I'm going to use the average as well. So now I've got the team plus its average attendance next to it. So I've got that NHL average right there as well. So now I've got it sorted. So I've accomplished doing it that way, so I could plot this on a chart right now. But let's say you don't have access to Office 365 or don't have this function available yet. I'm going to show you another way we can do that, and that's with the help of a pivot table. So what I can do here is select the insert option, select the pivot table, existing worksheet, and I'm going to select this cell right here, just put it right next to my existing data. And now I've got my table. So now what I can do is pull the team into the rows section and then my average into the values section. I'm going to remove the grand total. And now, as you can see, I can sort this by right-clicking, sort largest to smallest. So that's one way we can use a pivot table to our advantage so that, we can keep the data as is. So really, we're just replicating these values here, except within a pivot table, we can add that sorting without affecting our underlying data. We're not affecting these formulas. So now we can go about and plot this on a chart. So whether we use a pivot table or whether you use the sort by function, we can arrive at the same values. So now I'm going to go to Insert and open up the charts. And I'm going to use a bar chart going across. Hit OK. So I've got my pivot chart here now. And since it's a pivot chart, it's got these labels here, but I can get rid of them by just clicking this option for the field buttons. I'm going to get rid of, or I'll rename this to NHL attendance by team. We don't need this. And now what I'm going to do is right click, format this axis, because right now this is in the opposite order that I want. I want the highest values on top. There we go. And now we've got our values. One thing I want to do is get rid of some of this white space. So I'm going to right click, format the data series, and change this to, let's say, 30%. Make these lines thicker so it's easier to see. And now if I look for my NHL average right there, if I want to change the values of my chart, then I can just select once to get everything, but I can select again to just select this individual value. And now if I go to my fill options, let's say I want to set it to a yellow background and a solid black line, just to make it easy to differentiate. And so now by doing that, it's a lot easier to see exactly where this average is, which teams were above the average, which teams were below the average. So by doing so, it's a lot easier to track where that number falls and how it compares to the other values in my data set. And you can do this for other values as well. If you always want to highlight maybe the largest value, we can do those in a separate value as well, perhaps a bright green, again with an outline, and maybe the lowest values as well, just to help highlight where the highs and the lows were, just to make your data stand out a little bit. So you could have you could select individual values if you want to highlight certain ones, or you can just select all of them as well. So the key is if you're selecting your chart, so if I click away here and select my chart, now you can see it's selecting all these values initially. When I click in again, now it's going to select just that individual line there. So now I can just modify that series specifically, as opposed to everything. So it gives you a bit more flexibility in how you want to present your chart and to display your data. So hope you found this video useful. If you did, please leave a like and make sure to subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.